You ever wonder what the secret weapon of the world's most creative and productive people really is? It's definitely not some magic pill or fancy new software. Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down a concept that author Cal Newport calls our superpower for the 21st century, and that is the ability to do deep work. So let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? You're juggling emails, you're bouncing between meetings, checking notifications. Your entire day is just packed, right? But then when you finally log off, you get this sinking feeling that you haven't actually accomplished anything that really matters. It's totally exhausting, it's frustrating, and you know what? There's a very good reason it's so common. Okay, now this slide right here is where it gets a little scary. A major McKinsey study found that the average knowledge worker, someone like you or me, spends over 60% of their week on stuff like electronic communication and just searching the internet. Just let that sink in for a second. In a 5-day work week, that's 3 full days spent just treading water. Does that 60% sound high to you, or maybe, just maybe, a little low based on your last week?
And this brings us to a super important definition. This state of constant low-impact busyness, well, it has a name: shallow work. Think of it as all the logistical stuff. Answering routine emails, sitting in on status meetings, posting to social media. Honestly, here's the best way to think about it. Shallow work is like the junk food of productivity. It totally fills your time and makes you feel busy, but it offers zero real nourishment for your career or your skills.
So if so many of us are just drowning in this sea of shallow work, what's the life raft? Well, this leads us to the core argument of this whole explainer, the deep work hypothesis. And it reveals a massive, and I mean a massive opportunity in the gap between what our economy actually values and how most of us spend our time. And here it is. Here's the alternative: deep work. It's the exact opposite of shallow. It's that state of flow when you're completely immersed, zero distractions, tackling a really demanding task. This is the zone where you solve the hard problems, learn difficult new skills, and you produce work that is not only incredibly valuable, but also incredibly hard for someone else to just come in and replicate. And this just lays it all out, right? The contrast couldn't be clearer. Deep work is all about mastery and creating something new. Shallow work, on the other hand, is about maintenance and stagnation. One pushes you to your absolute limits, the other one just keeps you busy. The real problem here is that our careers are defined by the work on the left, but our days are so often eaten up by the tasks on the right. And that, right there, is a recipe for professional frustration. So here's the full hypothesis, and this is really the aha moment. Number one, in an economy that rewards complex problem solving and unique skills, deep work is becoming more valuable than ever. Number two, thanks to our culture of constant connectivity, notifications, and open offices, the ability to actually do deep work is becoming incredibly rare. And the conclusion? It's just simple economics. When demand is high and supply is low, the value skyrockets. If you can cultivate this skill, you won't just succeed, you will thrive. Okay, so you're sold on the why of deep work. That's the easy part. But how do you actually do it in a world that is literally designed to distract you? Well, the first part of the answer is a pretty big mental shift. You have to start treating focus not as some personality trait you either have or you don't, but as a mental muscle that you have to actively train. Let's just let that sink in for a moment. We often think we can just decide to focus when a big deadline is coming up. But you know what? The research shows our brain just doesn't work that way. It's like an athlete training for a competition. You've got to put in the reps day after day to strengthen your ability to concentrate and resist that constant pull of distraction. Now, here's a really powerful, almost paradoxical mindset shift to start that training. The default for most of us is to work in a state of kind of sort of distraction, and then we take a break from our work with even more distraction, like a quick scroll through social media. This flips that entire script on its head. Instead of taking breaks from distraction, you start taking scheduled breaks from focus. It's all about taking control of your attention, not letting your distractions control you. And here's a concrete technique you can use to build that muscle. It's called productive meditation. The whole idea is to use time when your body is busy but your mind is free, like on a walk, during your commute, or even while you're doing chores, to focus intensely on a single professional problem. Every time your mind wanders, which it will, you just gently practice bringing it back. This turns what used to be dead time into a powerful concentration workout. It's such a simple change, but it can have a huge impact on your ability to focus. Okay, let's get to the second part of the strategy. Training your focus muscle is absolutely crucial,
But it's like trying to fill a leaky bucket if you don't actually plug the holes. You also have to go on the offensive and systematically eliminate the shallow work that's fragmenting your attention and draining your mental energy in the first place.
So, how do you find the leaks in your own schedule? Easy. You ask yourself this one incredibly clarifying question for any task on your to-do list. It's a simple but brutally effective tool for measuring the true cognitive depth and therefore the true value of your work. Let's see how this actually works. Developing a new business strategy, yeah, that's going to require years of context and expertise. That's deep work. But building a standard presentation or responding to routine emails, a smart person could pick that up in a few weeks, maybe a couple of months. That's the shallow stuff. And these are the tasks you need to ruthlessly minimize, delegate, or just batch together to protect your capacity for the real work. And here's why calling that shallow stuff is so absolutely critical. Research on expert performers in all kinds of fields, from violinists to scientists, shows that the human brain has a hard daily limit on true, deep work. And that limit is about 4 hours. That's it. This time is your most valuable professional asset, and it is incredibly easy to squander it on shallow tasks. But here's the good news. You only need to protect a few hours each day to make a massive, massive impact. But this is where the whole idea gets really interesting. The benefits of this approach, they go way beyond just your career. It's not just about getting more done, it's about living a better, more intentional life. Cultivating the ability to focus intensely doesn't just make you more productive, it fundamentally changes the quality of your entire human experience. This right here is the ultimate takeaway. The skillful management of your attention is, as Newport argues, the absolute foundation of a good life. By consciously choosing to focus on what truly matters, both at work and at home, and to just ignore the trivial, you are actively constructing a reality for yourself that is richer, more meaningful, and just way more satisfying. So the crucial point is this: deep work isn't just another productivity hack to check off your list. No, it's a fundamental reorientation of your life around value, around meaning and intention. And, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So what is the one shallow task, the one distraction that you are going to cut starting tomorrow?